guys, I do not know what that was, okay? But I'm not ready yet. I'm going to try it one more time, okay? I don't know why this cut off in the middle. Hold on one moment. Okay, I guess that's what it's going to be, okay? Listen, tonight I'm going to drop the link so you can join in on the conversation. And I'm not going to do it now, but I will here shortly. I'm going to go through this rather quickly. I only want to hit on some high pointers. But before I do that, you guys, I wanted to share some information about Askale that some of you may know. It's good information. It's not tea or anything. I know people love the tea. And but I want to share something with you here, and I want to bring it up. Askale is actually an amazing, amazing person. Okay. Um, Here we go. Can you guys see this? This is Askale. This is one of her photos. I just want to quickly go through some history and share some information with you about her. Um, and I found this on something called nikkiswift.com or something like that. Yes, nikkiswift.com. And so I only took the part of the article that talked about Askale. And it says, as mentioned on the show, Askale Davis is Ethiopian. Her addition makes sense as Maryland has a big Ethiopian American presence. Now, I didn't know that about Maryland. Although she's based in Maryland, Askale hails from Seattle, Washington, as her parents settled there after escaping a war-torn Ethiopia. She says, this is Askale, my mother fled war-stricken Ethiopia at the age of 17. At 18, she met my father in a Sudanese refugee camp. She wrote that in a Mother's Day Instagram post. So this was something that was on her Instagram. And I don't really follow her. I think I'm going to start. It says she bravely stepped foot into a foreign country with nothing and had to learn the language, the culture, and basic survival skills. She continued. 2 years later, my parents saved enough money to buy into an Ethiopian restaurant. And the restaurant's called Kokeb. It was the first Ethiopian restaurant in Seattle. That's an amazing story. We know a lot of foreign Africans, Jamaicans, and even Haitians and people who have come to this country and really succeeded, you guys. And this tells us, listen, if if her mother can do this, then it can be done. You know, so I love stories like that. The next part of it, it goes on to say, so what caused Askale to move to the East Coast? Howard University. So we all know she went to Howard University. As her UNCF bio reads, is she a United Negro College Funds recipient? Is that why it's saying that? So she is a proud graduate of Howard University, where she earned a Bachelor of Science in Biology and Chemistry, you guys. The girl has got brains. Okay, she's beautiful, she's fashionable, she has brains, she has the husband, has two gorgeous babies. I'm like, okay, because when you can do chemistry, I'm going to tell you, I didn't do well in chemistry in high school. I was so glad to get out of that class. I was trying to keep from going to summer school to take it over again. For real. For real, for real. Okay. I just wanted to cheer and have fun. I don't know why I took chemistry, but after college, Askale worked as a restorative justice program manager supporting at-risk youth in the Washington, D.C. area. Then in March 2020, she joined the United Negro College Fund as a community engagement manager. This woman is awesome. I love people who are into charity and who give back to the community. And she has been doing this early on. Last but certainly not least, when it comes to RHOP, Askale is married to Dre Davis, and this is her husband. He is the director of talent and influencer relations at Fanbase per LinkedIn. The couple shares two children as well as the other kids from a previous relationship. I was always the type of woman who said, I'm never going to date a man with kids, she once admitted. Well, honey, you didn't have to. Look, you got Dre. And you guys, here's Askale and her mom and her dad. Look at that. Um, I got this from Nikki Swift, okay? And this one as well. Here is Askale and her man. So here's her mom, her dad, beautiful family. She's a real good mixture of both of them, of her mom and her dad. And here is her and her man, honey, Dre. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, share that information with you about Askale. Um, it's, pretty good information. And I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the Real Housewives. Give me just one moment here, real quickly, okay? Thank you for excusing me. I had to get my water together over here. I've been drinking too much wine after work today, so I had to get some water here. Um, so this is the Real Housewives of Potomac, and it's season 6, episode 13, RHOP. And the name of it, the title is GVO or GTFO. And that's because of what Wendy, uh, on this trip, she said the theme of the trip was good vibe only. And then, of course, Candiace had to bring in the or get the F out. Okay, so that's the GVO or GTFO. Um, I want to kind of go back a little bit for the last episode because there is a lot of talk on the streets, on these YouTube streets, I like to say, about how Mia handled Candace's mom in the last episode. As grown people, no one out here, no one on any YouTube channel, no one period is has the right to tell another grown person how to conduct their life. You know, as long as they're not doing anything criminal, it should be fine. Mia, as a grown woman, having a conversation with Candace's mother did not warrant the heightened animosity that Candace has put towards this whole issue. If I want to walk up to your mother or your father and ask them a question, I can do that. It is up to them to put me in my place. Candace's mother had a conversation, a whole conversation with Mia after Mia asked the question about Chris, whether or not he's getting paid by Candace. I think Candace got upset because Chris isn't getting paid. Okay. And which makes him not a real manager because real managers get paid. So for Candace to be upset about Mia asking that question, Candace confronted the wrong person on this issue. The person to have confronted would have been Dorothy, her mother. And I'm trying to understand why people, you have a lot of, now I'm Black and I'm old school Black. So you ain't going to tell me how to conduct my life and what I can ask and cannot ask. This thing about these young, I don't know if I should call them young because they're in their 30s, but these nouveau Black people in the hemisphere going around thinking that they create the laws and the rules about what can be said and cannot be said, and saying things like, well, your mama is fair game, or people acting as if they have the rules of this is what we do in the Black community. It is not what we do in the Black community. It's what you do, period, as a person. You don't get to dictate what we do in the Black community. And I'm of the Black community, the old school Black community. So you don't get to tell me that this is what we do in the Black community. I didn't grow up around people who said your mama. So for people to be saying, oh, we Black and this is what we do, that is not true. It absolutely is not true. It's what you do, it's how you grew up. And I realize there's a whole um, separate Black culture. I like to say there is divisiveness in what is Black culture and what is not Black culture, because you have people on this side saying that's not what we do. But then you have these people who grew up in what they call the hood who think that the hood represents Black people. And I'm telling you, it doesn't. It absolutely does not. And I just wanted to put that out there. Okay. Um, so Mia asking that question, she should have done that. And Candiace saying your mama is low budget. All Mia said at Gizelle's house was, I just didn't want to show up for something that was low budget. Now, was that shade? And do I think she should have used the terminology, the term low budget? No, I don't think Mia should have used that, and it was shade. However, it didn't deserve a yo mama comment. Candiace doesn't know this girl from a can of paint. Candiace should have see, Candiace is the one who lacks vocabulary, even though she is working on her master's. So that's why she has to go for the granular, the your mama jokes or your big feet jokes. She has to attack people's persona, and that really is a reflection on what she thinks of herself. It really is. She probably really wanted a really good looking Black man who had money. That's probably what she really wanted, and she ended up with a white man with no money and a lot of child support that she's having to pay. And that's why she picks on other Black women about their looks. And that's where I am with this, you guys. And in addition to that, and I know you don't like this, I'm going to tell you something here shortly, okay? I'm going to move on through the show, and then I'll talk to you about Candiace and my thoughts on Robin and Candiace, okay? So the scene opens up with Mia saying her and G are at their home and they're playing with the kids. She's rolling them around, and um, she starts telling G about the issue with Candiace. But let me just stop here and say her children are beautiful. Little Juju is 3 and little Jeremiah is 5. And she has Jeremiah, little Juju on the suitcase rolling her around. And then Jeremiah, whenever he's hugging his mom, he's telling her, I don't want you to go because I love you. And I just thought that was so cute. Kids that age love their mommies. They love us. We are their world. Okay. Um, Jeremiah doesn't want his mom to go because he loves her. And then they show Mia in her confessional saying something about, if you want to pop off. Oh, the producer's asking her about Candiace. That's what it is. And Mia says, you know, if you want to pop off, I'll be happy to get you adjusted. No, I'm sorry. No, that's the wrong thing. That's the wrong thing. I'm sorry. She's saying that if Candiace wants to go back to high school, they can do that. Blah, blah, blah. Right. At any rate, I got that story mixed up, didn't I? Okay. Um, Gordon tells Mia, he says, let's be real about this, because he's talking about the trip. He says, I can be a little extra and I'm going to have me a good D time, right? And Mia starts talking to Gordon about the interaction she had with Candiace at Gizelle's house. And she says, you know, when I was telling you about, the low budget conversation, and Candiace started talking about, my mother, and I'm just like, you can say anything, but don't bring anybody's mom into the equation. And I agree with Mia on that. And Mia says to her, she says, if she tries it again, we're about to fight. Mia said that. And I'm going to say this about Mia too, that because I like Mia. I like her, and I have my I have my thoughts about Gordon. I like Gordon, but this episode was a surprise. Okay, I didn't expect to see what I saw Gordon doing. At the same time, Mia needs to keep her hands out of people's face. Mia does have a habit of putting her hands on people. That was the second time at Giselle's house that she had done that to Wendy. And then she touches her shoulder and says, "And what you going to do about it?" Mia, that's immature. That's jacked up. That's very immature. And um, I want to tell you guys, I think what is happening here with the Real Housewives of Potomac, these are educated women. So let's be real. They have done college, they're professionals, and they are career oriented. They're goal oriented women. Even Robin, Gizelle, um, Karen, I believe, did not go to college, but she still has. She's married to a man who did, and she has goals, and she sent her own children to college. And Mia did not go to college. Candiace did. I'm not sure about Ashley. Candiace did. So the breakdown between Candiace and Mia, I believe, really has to do with status. I really do. And Mia is on the show. Candiace has a higher status than Mia, period, overall. And Mia and Candiace are not seeing eye to eye just based on some very basic values in life. So it's kind of, you have someone on this side who has been raised very differently, and then someone on the other side who has been raised like the complete opposite, and that's Mia. And so when these two value systems come together, they're going to collide. They do not get along. They have different statuses. They have different. That's why it was easy for Candiace to say what we will hear her say, what we heard her say at the end of the show. Well, you look. My mom didn't have to get on a pole, but you can. That's okay. You can be like her if you want to. Because Candiace was probably a little bit of her snobbery came out. Okay, because her background is different than Mia's. I don't even know why she's trying to go up against Mia. There are some people who have that background who wouldn't even be in that space, really. And I'm not putting Mia down because I like Mia. I'm just saying there are people who would just be like, listen, I ain't got time for you. We are two different. We are from two different sides of the tracks, as they say. I hate to use that term. And so that's what is happening with Candiace and Mia. So next we're at Candiace and Chris's house. And I told you guys I'm going to get right through this. I'm only going to highlight some pointers because I want to get to the end. With Candiace and Chris's house. And one of the things, this is the second time that Candiace has brought up Chris's drinking. So I don't know if she's trying to tell us something on air about his drinking, because she says, "Is it drinking time?" And Chris says, "Ain't it always?" They're sitting there, they're having their crackers and pepperoni and salami and cheese and olives. And, it made me want to go out and get some crackers and pepperoni and salami and cheese and olives. And that's what I did. That whole setup uh, made me hungry. Um, Candiace and Chris are talking about her music, and they're talking about the videos, and everything's supposed to be ready that day. It is very hard for me, you guys, to support Candiace's video because of how she reacts on TV. I'm one of those people. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, and I'm not saying I will not do it. I am just saying the way that she behaves on television is vile. Some of the things she does, and it just makes me back up a little bit. Um, so she's talking to Chris, and in this conversation, here comes the bile of it all, right? She starts body shaming Mia again. And I'm not going to repeat here some of the things that she said about Mia in her conversation with Chris, but it was all body shaming. And what if Mia called Candiace a little elf? A little F. What if she, like ELF, okay, not a, what if she said that to her? What if she started really body shaming Candiace? Because you could say that about her. You could say a whole lot of things about Candiace, and and be okay with it. But people aren't doing that to her. It is immature. This is not housewife material to me. Candiace is not housewife material, and I'm just one of those people who thinks that it is too soon for her to be on a show like this. Perhaps her mom and her and her sister and Chris can get a show and deal with, those issues, because they have enough issues there with Chris in the house to have a reality show. Believe me. I could see it now, Dorothy, trying to be a therapist to Chris, on their own reality show or something like that. Next, we're at Robin's house. And I have to say, I was looking at this show and I could not ignore the fact, you know what? Production is very, very shady with their camera. Am I the only one who sees that? They zoomed right in on that green tea kettle and just how rusty it was in Robin's house. And I said, "Come on, you guys didn't have to do that." And even the food that Robin had prepared for her and Ashley, it looked like it was bought from Kroger. It wasn't even anything that was, elegantly done. She didn't even try to make it look good. So maybe Robin is depressed to some degree. She didn't even try to make it look good. You have your girlfriend coming over. There wasn't any flowers, no candles, nothing laid out. It was just, I don't know. So Ashley comes bearing orchid gifts. See, Ashley even bought a flower. You could have put that flower right there in the midst of all of that. Uh, and their conversation is kind of, it's more about the trip, and Robin is really bashing Wendy. She thinks that Wendy is being an a-hole, and um, she says that they start talking about Candiace, and Ashley says that Candiace came in there mad and angry, and Candiace really didn't come to Giselle's mad. She was happy, she was laughing. Now, she started her conversation with Mia in a good place, in that she was just asking Mia, what made you think that you could do that to my mother? And Mia, really, when she called Candiace's event, or her video low budget, that is what really took Candiace over the edge to say your mama. So some people would say that's equal. I think it was just really hitting below the belt. You shouldn't be talking about people's mothers. You don't know if that woman's mother was dead or what. That would not have been good. And Candace's mouth is just too vile. I'm sorry. She's not housewife material. She doesn't know how to have control of her mouth. And I like the little light shade that she throws because she's good with it. The girl is a wordologist, okay? She's good at it, or etymologist. It does not matter whether Mia's mother's past was a challenge with, you know, paraphernalia and all of that stuff. To me, that's not the issue. To me, the issue is it's just inappropriate to bring in someone's family when you're in a debate with them. Don't do that. Um, Robin is delusional because she's standing there talking to Ashley, saying that everything that she does, Wendy turns on her. And that is not what we've seen. Maybe production needs to show us some more footage because we have not seen that. We've actually seen you yelling at Wendy and telling Wendy to calm down when Wendy was not even yelling. You calm down, Robin. They uh, they show some flashbacks because they start talking about the fact that they have sent text out to Wendy letting her know that they are not going to be attending the Chesapeake Bay event, the GVO event. And then they show Robin's telling Ashley that Giselle is also not going. And so they flash back over to Giselle in her house getting her hair done. And Giselle needs to stop dyeing her hair. The dye is really killing her hair. It's really killing it. She needs to find another move with that hair because it looks dead. I digress. So now they go over to Wendy's. Wendy is packing and getting ready for the trip. And honey, her man walks in. He's had his hair cut, and she goes, "Look at you," you know. So I love Eddie and Wendy's relationship. I really do. I am really digging on Wendy this season, you guys. Last season, I was ready for her to go because I didn't like her. A lot of people don't like Ashley. I like Ashley. I'm an Ashley person. I like her. And so last season, I didn't like how she just went in on Ashley immediately. I thought that there was no reason for that. And it made me feel like that she had had a conversation with Candiace, and that's why she did it, knowing how Candiace felt about Wendy. I mean, about Ashley. And um, so at any rate, that's over. I'm with Wendy now. Wendy really brought it this season as far as I'm concerned, and they need to bring her back again. Okay, and again, and again. She needs at least 4 or 5 more seasons at least. In her confessionals, even, Wendy looks beautiful. She has 2 different confessionals this season. She has one where she's wearing that I want to say green. What's that color green? I can't. It's kind of like a cream green. It's beautiful anyway. Has the little feathery like stuff around the shoulders and the neck, and she looks gorgeous in that scene. Then she has another one where she's wearing this purple beaded outfit with her hair shorter. I Wendy has really brought it, you guys. I am impressed. Robin says she's uncomfortable being around Wendy. Um, Now, I want to say to you, Gizelle said that she was uncomfortable being around Wendy as well. She said that on that chat show that she has with Portia. So to hear Robin say this, it just makes me think she's just continuing to ride Giselle's behind. Really. She's just riding her behind again. She said she feels uncomfortable around Wendy, and Wendy doesn't like me. There's no way she can like me. Those exact same words are what Giselle said on the chat show with Portia. Okay. Same thing. Next, we go to Karen's house. Not much is going on there. Ray is helping her to pack. She's telling him, look, don't burn the house down while I'm gone. He's not going to go with her. So Ashley arrives because Ashley's going with Karen, and Ray is going to go a day later. But whenever Karen is talking to Ray about, the trip, Ray says, well, no, Karen tells him Michael's not going to be there. And then Ray says, well, is Juan coming? And Karen, in her confessional, was so shady. She goes, after watching Robin thumb herself in Williamsburg, I don't think Juan is coming because Robin can take care of herself. I said, that is too hilarious. She said, after watching Robin thumb herself in Williamsburg, I don't think Juan is coming. That was funny to me. Okay. So next, they are at the Eastern Shore, and it's beautiful. The house looks like it's like out there, and that it owns the whole bay sitting there. Even though it's not huge, it just looks like it owns that bay area right there because they weren't showing anything else. And they show this beautiful ocean, the beautiful bay, and Eddie and Wendy have arrived. The wind is this is funny. This Eddie is funny. I like Eddie. The wind blows Wendy's hair, and she starts laughing because I guess that I don't know if it's about to come off or what, but Eddie's like, I can't sew or glue or any of that. So if it comes off, I can't sew or glue it back on. Um, Wendy lets us know she doesn't want anyone in a cottage because she knows what that felt like when they went to Williamsburg and Candiace put her and Karen and Askale in the cottage. She didn't want that to happen to anyone else. Next, Gordon and Mia arrive and they're getting out of the cars. As they're getting out of the car, they notice that a valet is not there to greet them. So Gordon, who is also called G, says, am I supposed to get my own luggage out? And Mia's like, well, let's just wait and see. I'm not going to be picking up anything. Who does Mia think she is? And I like Mia, but I have to be real about things when I see them. Who does she think? What does she mean I'm not going to be picking up anything? Mia, it's okay for you. Your husband really should have been taking the luggage in, but instead, he goes inside and he starts wiggling the keys and having them hang from his hands and asking Wendy and Eddie, where's the valet to park the car and get the luggage and stuff like that. And Wendy's like, well, you see, what had happened was But anyway, they make a joke about it, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I kind of felt some kind of way when G was trying to get Eddie to park the car and get the luggage because we get enough of that. I'm old school black, you guys. I'm old school black, and I know these young people out here, these young G's do not feel the same way that I do. I have some hindrances, okay? I do. I felt some kind of way about G asking another black man to get his vehicle and talking to him. It just made me feel like he was talking down to Eddie. So and I know they laughed it off. So I digress. I will move on. They go over to the bar area, and they start taking shots and talking. And they show Mia in her confessional saying, G has different layers to him. And you are right, girl. You guys started taking those shots too early. Honestly, even with Patron, and Patron is the only liquor I will drink if I'm going to drink, and I haven't had that really in a long time. But if I'm going to take shots, it will be Patron, and I do like two shots of Patron, maybe two and a half, and I'm done because I know that it's going to hit me. Hello, Yolanda Franklin. Hi. Thank you for showing up. They're Bugetta. You think Mia and G are Budgetto? Well, G is worth 100 million, so I don't know if that's way beyond Budgetto to me, honey. Um, but I think they both may have come. I don't know about G's history, but Mia has had a rough go at it, right? And G, if he has come from humble beginnings, he needs to behave humbly, okay? He is 68 years old, we learn in this episode. So for him to be behaving the way that he was, it was a lot. Whenever before they left home, and he said to his wife, what did he say to her? He said, I'm a little extra, and he's gonna have a good D time. I just thought, okay, good. He's gonna be fun. He's gonna bring it, and he's a little extra. No, honey. A little. No. A little? I've never. No. No, honey. He's a lot of extra. Um, so okay, where did I get to with my notes? Okay, yes. So they are taking shots, and um, Mia starts talking to them about, about the conversations about her mom, about how Candiace said your mama's low budget, you know. I also want to pause here and say G has all of these businesses right here in North Carolina, okay, where I am, and then he has some, has them up the East Coast. And when you're on television, you need to be cognizant of your clients because there are still a lot of very conservative people out here who do not want to see people they do business with behaving badly or behaving wildly, I should say. And I'm one of them. I'm one of them. If I'm someone who's giving to your business, I want to always see you in a certain light. Whatever you do behind closed doors with your family, go ahead, do that with your friends, go ahead. But if I'm doing business with you, I need to see you in a respectable place. Um, so next they show Ashley and Karen in the vehicle. And Karen says to Ashley, that she's in a place where she can invite all of the ladies to her wedding because her and Ray are about to renew their vows. And you guys, Ashley's beautiful to me. I don't care what Candace says. I never even looked at her forehead before Candace said anything. Ashley is gorgeous. And for her light skin is smooth and it's perfect. It doesn't look dried up like Giselle's. She doesn't look like she needs a whole lot of makeup. And I don't know. I really think that Candace goes in on women who are married to financially successful men. Michael Darby is worth 35 mil. I mean, say what you want about how compact Ashley's house is. It doesn't matter. Okay, they don't have to be there. He is a businessman. He was a developer. He did commercial real estate in the DMV area for a few decades now. So if he wants to settle down and downsize and be in something more conducive to, his space, that's their business as far as I'm concerned. People are just really, I really think Candace is jealous of Ashley, and I even think she's jealous of Mia to a degree. At any rate, Candace and Chris arrive to the home. And what does Mia say when Candace walks in? She says, welcome. She welcomes her. And then they show Candace in her confessional body shaming Mia again. I tell you, she is not housewife material. This is not what we tune in for. I like a little light shade, but all this picking on the way people look and all that stuff, that's immature. That's high school, early high school, ninth and 10th grade. By the time you're a junior or senior, you're realizing some things if you are mature at all. Wendy tells them while they're in the bar area, she tells Candace and Chris and Mia and G and Eddie and all of the people who are there, she says, the theme of this weekend is GVO. And if you don't have GVO, and she says that's good vibes only. And if you don't have GVO, and before she could even finish it, Candace intercedes and says, you can GTFO. And we know what that is, right? Get the you know what out. I'm trying to figure out, I think that what has happened is some of you come over here and you use different names. What do you want? Go ahead and tell me in the chat. What is it that you want? Because you come over here, you listen to me, you use different names, but you have the same behavior. And I see your behavior. I see you. At any rate, I digress. So, where did I get to? Okay, the GVO. Okay, so back in the vehicle, production shows Karen and Ashley talking about Gordon. And they're talking about how he has good, he's, good vibes and great person and all this. He seems calm. And they're using all these terms that are the opposite of the behavior we are witnessing as they are back at the house. And so clearly, Candace and Karen have only seen one side of Gordon. Okay. Now, back at the house, Mia, G has already started acting out, and um, they start talking about, the strip club kind of stuff. And Candace is already giving Mia jabs, right? That's another thing I don't like about Candace. When someone's saying something about themselves and they're admitting it, like if Mia's saying something about herself being in the strip club and you go, yeah, yeah, we know, we heard, why, what is the purpose of those comments, those underhanded comments that she's making? She is so immature. It is really elf-like. It's giving me elf-like vibes, Candace. That's what I'm gonna call you, elf-like vibes. Okay. Um, so they're talking about strip clubs and stuff like this, and they start talking about white girls. I don't know how that got into play, but Mia makes a comment. G likes white girls. Anyway, he likes Becky with the good hair. And Candace is like, oh, what? He like white girls, blah, this, blah, that, right? And then G starts demonstrating this inappropriate body movement that is, and I don't know if you can say this on YouTube, but it's essing. It's essing. And meaning, you know, he like he's really doing it in bed, just he starts making that move and he's like, where are the white women at? Where are the white women at? He's saying that as he's making that move. And Eddie is like stunned. He tries to distract the issue and he turns to his wife, Wendy, and says, okay, what are we doing today? because it was just, I don't know. When he said that he can be a little bit much, I was not expecting this. It's in this scene that we learned that he's 68 because Mia says that, she says, I let G be G. He's 68. She says that in her confessional. Next, Askale and Andre arrive. And these people are really drinking, okay? You guys, I'm in my 50s. I just told you I do like 2.5 shots and I'm done. They are like they are in college again. They are, or high school even, like senior year or something, and that they don't know any better. You have to know your limits with alcohol. You have to know your limits with alcohol. And yeah, I agree, Violet. I was saying the same thing as well, but there are a lot of people who on some of the other YouTube channels are not thinking that Candace is that nasty, but I completely concur. I completely concur. And I'm a person who started out really loving Candace. I liked when Candace and Ashley were good friends because Candace and Ashley, you all may not remember, when this show first aired and Candace was on the second season, I believe. Yeah, the second season. Ashley, I think, had something to do with getting Candace on the show because they both had participated in beauty pageants together. Uh, if she didn't have anything to do with it, they knew each other before the show through the beauty pageant world. The Wendy is showing them all the Chesapeake Bay View area, and it's beautiful. Now that's beautiful. I know everyone was thinking, "Oh, why aren't they going out of the country or someplace, for a vacation?" You guys, we have so many beautiful places right here in the United States. Even during the pandemic, we've been places, there are so many beautiful places right here, and the Chesapeake Bay Area is one of them. So I'm not mad at them for choosing a place closer in town to have an event at for the ladies. While Candace and Askale are checking out their rooms, uh, Candace tells Askale, G is on 25. Then later on you hear Candace say, G is on like 37. The number goes up every time she says he's on something. Um, Next, they go back into the bar area, and G or someone gets a phone call. I think it's Mia gets a phone call. And it's because G is having a customized G Wagon made for her. Okay. So um, I wish I could have seen that G Wagon. I wonder what it looks like. I wonder if I could locate it here. G the and was it a 2021 G-Wagon or what was it? I'm trying to see. Um, they're having it customized. I don't know. I really have not seen one, honestly, you guys. But I want to see if I can show you guys a picture of it real quickly. Of a picture of one. Let's see here. Let's see if it will allow me. Let's see. No, this is not it. Sorry, stop sharing. Let's see here. Okay, let me. Where is the G Wagon? You guys just saw what I was Googling. And where is it? If it does it again, this is it. I don't know. Is it this right here? I just really Googled it, so I don't know if that's it. But that's what I just now look. Does anyone know what it looks like and whether or not that was it? So next we have the G-Wagon conversation. Okay, this is the point when Mia's husband, Gordon, who is also called G, he is telling Mia to put the caller on hold, the person on the phone who's calling them about the G-Wagon. I don't know why he wants her to put him on hold, but he keeps telling her, no, 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 put him on hold. Silence and put him on hold. And he goes on, and at some point he says, because I don't get many chances to tell you to STFU. And he said the words. And I know Mia had to be embarrassed. She had to be embarrassed. No woman wants her husband talking to her like that. Even if he does it in private, you don't want them talking to you like that in public, you know? Um, so we learn in this episode that Mia and G's anniversary is on May 5th. So we know that this was being filmed before May 5th because their anniversary was coming up. Candiace is back upstairs as her and Askale are looking for their rooms. She's schooling Askale on G. They're in a room and she says, he reminds me, he reminds me of? He reminds me of Michael. The two are older men who've done the one wife and the kids, and now they have, these trophy wives, and they just don't want to do, uh, the traditional anymore. And I was sitting there thinking, she is sitting there assessing these couples like this. She says, G and Michael are alike. They're two old men with money. They've done the one wife and the kids. And so what is Chris? Because Chris has also done the one wife and the kids. He just doesn't have the money. So that's the only thing that I could think of when she was sitting there saying that. I mean, Michael Darby is worth between 30, 35. G is like, they're saying 100. A scholar's man is like 30. I saw one place where it said a scholar's man was like worth only 3 million. Then another place where it said 30. So I don't know what he's worth really. Okay. In terms of finances, I know he's worth a lot, period, as a person. But in terms of money, I don't know where the worth lies there. Wendy enters the room and she goes, "What are y'all talking about?" And Wendy goes on to tell them that G just told Mia to STFU. So Candiace is just, I don't know. Anyway, okay, so what happens next? I don't know why I wrote this. Oh, Mia comes in the room. Mia comes in the room. And Askale immediately asks Mia, "Did your husband just tell you to STFU?" Right? And Mia admits it, and Candiace says, you can't do that in mixed company." And I agree with Candiace on this. I do agree with her on that. She said, because me and Chris, we do that all the time, but we would never do that in mixed company. And so Wendy opens it up for Mia and Candiace to have the conversation about the your mama comment that was made back at Giselle's. And so Candiace starts to open up and explain to Mia why she said that. But then Mia goes left on Candiace whenever she says to her, she brings it brings up again the fact that it was a low budget. She says it again. She doesn't back down from it, and that's when Candiace starts to escalate. And Mia at some point tells Candiace, "You know what? I wasn't talking. She wasn't talking bad about. I wasn't talking bad about you. I just wanted to have a conversation with your mom. We were just having a conversation. You know, I aspired to be her." And so Candiace goes low again. She goes, "Well, my mother wasn't found in a strip club, but that's okay. You can be like her if you want to." And you know, things I knew they were just going downhill from there. At one point, Candace tells me, "I would have never walked into your place of business and started criticizing it." And Mia says, "Well, you can just take it as constructive criticism." Mia, you are not even a boss. You're not a leader. You're not a boss. You're not a CEO. No, you're not any of that. That was not constructive criticism because you weren't talking to Candace. You were talking to Candace's mother. So, how was that constructive criticism for Candace? And whenever you say that her video is low budget, how is that constructive criticism? It's not. Constructive criticism would be for you to sit across from her and have a conversation and give her some ideas and even connect her with people who can help her with her videos in the future. That's constructive. What you did was downtrodden. Now, I don't agree with Candace calling saying your mama. I don't. I also do not, now that I've seen this thing like 3 or 4 times, because the first time I saw it, I was all for Mia. I was like, okay, Candace is like really low. But I've looked at this video enough, and Mia has some growing up to do herself. I think Mia is trying too hard. She's like, Mia is new money, and it's not even wealth, it's money. And there's a difference in wealth and money. And people keep saying Candace has generational wealth. I believe her mom is trying to create generational wealth, but Candace does not have generational wealth. Generational wealth is when your parents are wealthy and they have enough to give you that they don't have to complain about what they're giving you. They give it to you, you take it and you turn it into your own wealth. You know, it's a transference of the wealth. And Candace's mother hasn't done that. So it's not generational wealth yet. She's still trying to make it that. And with Candace being married to Chris, I don't know how that's going to work. And I'm not for anyone's divorce or anything. I hope they stay together, but Chris has got to get his confidence level up because his confidence level, you can tell on the show that the things that social media is saying about him is affecting him. And that's probably why he is drinking so much. It's affecting him. And I know that even though Dorothy is a therapist, it's probably too close for comfort for her to really help support him therapeutically speaking. You know, this man is married to her daughter. He comes to them with nothing. She doesn't want that for her daughter. I don't want it for mine. I understand that as a mother. I definitely understand that as a mother. Um, but Mia is new money, so she needs to step back. She needs to take some leadership courses. You know, I'm all for leadership courses, okay, in corporate America. All of these people coming on these reality shows thinking that they are big bosses and big managers and they're running this and they're running that. These people, I would never want to work for any of them. I never. Okay, I could not. They need leadership skills. That's what they need. Stop going around saying you're a big boss. I'm the CEO. If you were really all of that, Mia, you would not have to say it because really CEOs and big bosses don't talk like that. They don't. Now you may have managers on the lower level who talk like that because they want to be there, but you don't hear the real big people talking like that. And so Mia does need to step back some. Next we have Wendy, because Candace is coming at Mia so hard, Wendy is checking in on Mia. And Candace is like, why are you checking in on her? And Wendy says, because I know what it's like to have people gang up on you. Since Wendy has been on the show, you guys, I have not seen anyone gang up on Wendy. In fact, one of the things that made me like her so much is she tore Robin and Gizelle down all in one setting. All in one setting. The episode wasn't even halfway over. So, Wendy, I don't know when did this happen with you? Please share, okay? Please share. Um, Candace goes on. She starts talking about Mia's big A feet. Um, you know, who cares, Candace? We saw a picture of your feet. I wish I had that photo to bring it up here again. I wish I could bring it up here again. We saw a photo of your feet. You cannot talk about anyone's feet. Didn't I tell you guys earlier that all of these physical and body shaming jokes are a reflection of how Candace feels about herself? Because grown people don't attack other grown people like that. We don't do that. Okay. At one point, Mia is coming out of the room. I guess the debate is just going on so much. Candace and a scholar are standing in the hall area, uh, and and Mia comes out and she says, "I'm gonna talk to my beautiful bombshell rich friend instead of these broke biatches." Okay, that is what she said. Okay, and then Candace again did a your mama joke. Bravo, you've got to get rid of Candiace. This is why I titled this Candiace needs to be fired. Okay? Candiace needs to be let go. This is not what we tune in for. This is like street talk. This is not what we want to hear coming from the housewives. It is just not. And I'm sick of it. She does it every season, you guys. Every season. There's no growth. There's no growth there. It's all nasty. She's atrocious and cruel and just and really quite diabolical. Really. Because people are saying, and I didn't see this, but they're saying that at one point on one of her Instagrams some time ago, she wished death on someone and the person actually died. Now, I don't believe she had anything to do with that because that person was sick beforehand. All death is in God's hands. Just know no one can cause you to die by saying it. Okay? This thing with your words, that no. People have completely misinterpreted the Bible when it comes to that. However, you can make people feel a certain way. You don't know how people grew up. You don't know what's going on in their head and where they are mentally. And she takes shots like that at people. And so for that, I will never buy anything that Candiace puts out. I will not buy her music ever. Not ever. And she had lunch with, they show some uh, pictures of her and Chris having lunch with Askale and Askale's husband. Well, I just showed you that Askale's husband is in the music industry. So that was probably why Candiace was having lunch with him. Askale, don't do it. Don't let it happen. Do not let him connect with Candiace because the next thing she'll be going in on you. Okay. Um, when next we have Karen and Ashley, they arrive. When Karen walks in the house, it just brought in after what I had just seen with, Candiace doing what she did to Mia, it just brought in so much class and stability to the house and warmth. Just watching her walk in, I was like, this is it. They need Karen's presence there. Okay. And then Ashley, uh, Wendy is walking Ashley, towards the bar area, and and she turns to her and she tells her about G. She says G is really drunk. So she warns Ashley, right? So Ashley's like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And G immediately says, "I am exceptionally above average." I said, "I'm gonna start saying that. I am exceptionally above average." So then Wendy starts to give out her gift baskets because now everyone has arrived except Gizelle and Robin, who we see will arrive next week, because that uh I believe that I believe Bravo made Robin and Giselle come to the Chesapeake Bay. I believe because Bravo sees Giselle as the queen of this show. So if she's not present, in an event, they're not going to have that. I'm sure they contacted Giselle. They probably didn't call Robin, but they at least contacted Giselle and told Giselle, you need to go. And she probably contacted Robin and said, "Okay, Robin, they're saying I got to go." And that's how they ended up there. I bet you anything. So Wendy she has gift baskets for everyone who shows up. Um, and she also goes over the room assignments. Her candle is in the gift. Now I am going to buy Wendy's candle, but I don't even know if it's on the market yet. We need to figure that out. I will buy from Wendy. I like Wendy and Eddie. Um, so she starts giving out room assignments. And remember earlier I told you she didn't like that cottage setup that Candiace did in Williamsburg. So the room assignments are in order. Everyone's going to be in the same house, but they are in order. And the first pickers get the best rooms other than the one that the host gets. So um, she chooses Karen and Askale because they were in the cottage with her in Williamsburg. So they get to go upstairs and pick their room first. And next, she chose Ashley. And she says, because I know it took a lot for you to be here. You guys, my heart melted when she chose Ashley because her and Ashley got off to a rough start last season. Really. And even this season, they've had a little bit of an out, because Ashley is the one who broke the news to her about, Eddie. And so, but she lets Ashley go second. So I thought that was real big of her. And then thirdly, her and Mia, they are not on the best of terms. It's in and out with them, right? So she lets Mia go third. And I thought, you know what? I love Wendy. When she did this, when she did this, and her reasoning behind it just made so much sense. That's the academia, that's the professor, that's the high class, high status mind thinking person. Okay. Mind thinking. Okay. Thinking person. Okay. Um, I love that. I love she did that. And she said that she let Mia go third, and she looked at Candiace and she says, Candiace, don't, she was telling Candiace, don't be mad. She didn't say don't be mad out loud, but basically that's what she was saying. She says, we said that we need to make Mia feel welcome. Girl, I tell you, I'm all in for Wendy. Karen need to be careful. Wendy may be coming up very close on that queen side over there, okay? And Candiace, of course, is fourth, and she said when Gizelle and Robin, if they arrive, they will be five, okay? So that's how the rooms were. And then they go to a different scene, and this is the last scene where Mia and Ashley are having a conversation, and Candiace is like all of 3 feet away, and they're talking about Candiace. And Ashley and Candiace do not get along, and we know Mia and Candiace now do not get along. And Mia tells Ashley, "This girl," and she puts her hands over in Candiace's direction, and she goes, "This girl, she's mean." Candiace goes, "I'm standing right here." And Mia says, "And since you're standing there, we may as well invite you into the conversation." And that's when the S pops off. You guys know when I say curse words, I always say the first letter, so the shish pops off, okay? Um, they start talking, right? And one would think it's going to be an okay conversation if we didn't already know, beforehand that there was going to be a salad toss, okay? Um, Candace says, the elephant in the room is you need to go to therapy because you're always talking about how high up you are, how high and mighty, how money and all of this. So Candace says, the elephant in the room is you need to go to therapy. And I do not disagree with Candace on that point. Candace makes some good points on these shows. It's just that she doesn't know how to control her temper and her mouth. She doesn't know how to do that. And she does need to control her mouth because we don't want you on the show because of that mouth. You need to go for real. This is not what at least I tune in for Housewives. For Housewives, I want to see you throw some shade and have some drama, but I also want to see you makeup. I want to see you travel. I want to live vicariously through you for that hour of television. Okay? And Candace is not someone, and neither is Robin, by the way, with her dirty her tea kettle. That tea kettle is not the housewife we want. Robin can be any woman on any given day. That is not housewife material. And I know people do not agree with me on that, but I've been watching this since 2007, starting with Orange County when Orange County was the only goat in town. And then, New York, Atlanta, New Jersey, I saw all of these housewives. And I'm telling you, Candace is not it just for having Chris there. She doesn't even have a man who has the money to make her into that. And then um Robin, it's over, Robin. It's a done deal. It's a done deal. Okay. Um, so We know what happens next. Mia puts her hands in Candiace's face. Candiace tells her to stop. Mia has got to stop putting her hands in people's face. I don't know if it's because she's tall and that's something she's always done. I don't know if someone, I don't know if that's what she uses as a defense mechanism because she knows she's taller than people and she can do that. She needs to get control over that. It's not looking good. You're a businesswoman. Your husband is a businessman. You have all these businesses up the East Coast. You're going to start losing people and wonder where your money went. Okay. Because on the real, we'll watch your show. But out here in the real world, we're not going to do business with people who have certain behaviors. It's not going to happen. Candiace goes below the belt again in front of Mia's husband, calling him a pimp. Where is your pimp? Go drop it like it's hot for your pimp. And then she throws lettuce at Mia. And Mia throws lettuce back at her. Karen gets in the middle because Candiace is talking about Mia's mother again. And Karen gets in the middle and says, look, you don't talk about people's mother. And that ended the show. They started showing the scenes for next week, and we will see Gizelle and Robin arrive. And I can't wait to see what it's going to be like then. It's going to be on like Donkey Kong. Okay. But so let's see what you guys are saying down here in the chat because there are a lot of you. Let's see. I well, Birdie, do you watch the Real Housewives? A lot of them don't have husbands, honey. A lot of them do not have husbands. Um, so you say G grossed you out. I wouldn't say he grossed me out. His behavior was different. It was a drunk behavior. He had too many shots, and he. Um, okay, so you asked me why do I block with everyone with a different opinion? I haven't blocked anyone with a different opinion. Who did I block with a different opinion? Bad and bougie? I didn't block you. I You can have a different opinion. And how did you know I blocked someone? You know why I blocked someone? I'm going to tell you this because they were a troll. So do you know the person I blocked? I blocked them because I'm not sure they were trolling me. And they are also the same person who sent me comments that were negative after I did my video. So one of the people I blocked for that reason, I was like, okay, but I don't block people for having a different opinion. I want you to have your opinions. Do you want me to drop the link so you guys can come in if you have time? And oops, no, I don't want that to go. Okay, I don't know why I put this in here. Let me, wait a minute, close this out. Okay, I put the wrong thing in here, but I was gonna drop the link. You're saying, Birdie, you're saying the show is better with, well, with the divorce rate being what it is, they are probably having a difficult time finding a lot of housewives who are married or not in the midst of a divorce. That also plays an issue. That also plays an issue in it. I want to drop the link here just to see if anyone wants to grab it. If not, then we'll have a conversation and get on out of here. Let's see. Here's the link. Yeah, I think it's better with husbands too, Miss Bell, but what do you guys tell me what you think about Candiace? What do you think about the issue between Candiace and Mia when you saw it? What were your first thoughts on it? Do you think Candiace should stay on the show? Do you think Robin should stay? Come on, guys. Well, my vote is that Robin and Candiace should go and they should bring on two new housewives. I want Askale to stay. In fact, Robin and Candiace can go and they can just bring one housewife on. It doesn't have to be um, two, if they get rid of two, but I do want Candiace to go. You know, I Candiace is just too her. They're not representing what I see on average across the board. Like even with the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, those women are a different status. I love every one of them being on the show. Now, I'm not feeling Mary too much because I don't like that thing where she married her grandmother's husband. I'm not feeling Mary. I would like to see Mary leave the show and have them bring on another Black female from Salt Lake City who is, upper echelon. But I, with Meredith and Heather and Whitney and Lisa, I like them on the show. Um, Honestly, I want Mary and Jen to go. Jen, because she's a criminal. Once you, and even Erica, I don't want Erica on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills anymore because now she's shown a criminal element. And people, I know you don't believe this, but there are certain people out there who watch these shows and they will become that personality, right? Like with Erica, and the other people who are committing crimes on the shows. I think once a housewife has committed a crime, they need to leave. So I want you guys to give me some real stuff though. Instead of saying, "Oh, they act like elementary school," or those are elementary comments to me. I want to hear some real quality stuff. Mary and Jen are housewives. I just don't like the criminal element with Jen, and I really think Jen is really on the low low. I think Jen is psychotic. I think Jen is psychotic, and Mary. I just think the thing with her thinking it's okay to marry her grandmother's husband. Why would you want to be intimate with a man who has been intimate with your grandmother? That's what I'm always thinking. Why do you want to be intimate with someone who's been intimate with your grandmother? That's crazy to me, guys. That's so crazy. And people actually like her on that show. And I'm going, my goodness, you guys, that's too much to me. Okay. Let me make sure. So I'm going to go ahead, get on out of here. I've chatted with you guys enough, and I'm beginning to wonder. I want to say this. One of you on here I'm looking at, and one of the people um, I did block because they were a troll, but I think that they have come back as someone else because the comments are similar and the behavior is the same. The behavior is the same. So that's it, you guys. That's it. I hope you enjoyed the show. I thank all of you, especially my subscribers. I thank all of you for showing up. If you have not subscribed, please remember to, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, click the notifications bell because that is supposed to notify you when I'm having a show. I will be on again on Thursday night, but I'll be on Vlog Spear Talk, talking about my previous history with employers and things like that. I also do a Saturday morning gig here, live Saturday morning coffee with Breezy. I'll be doing that on this Saturday morning as well. And it usually just brings you up to date with news and stuff like that. This week, I have something that I'm trying to put together. These shows are not easy, you guys. It does take time. I have so much respect for journalists now on television and their research, reporters, the things that they go through, putting everything together, because you want to give people a quality show. And I don't even really think that my shows have really reached the quality that I am aiming for, but they will. And I thank all of you for coming on here. So have a good night. I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here, and we will see you in the next one.